Welcome to the show. Welcome to Craig Bouchon Show. Glad to have you with me today. We have a big show. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have breaking news. There's a Trump audio out there about talking about top secret documents. We're going to talk about World War III today, like we promised on the last show, and I'm going to connect the dots of why we're in that now. We've been in it for quite some time. And first, I want to bring Eric Thompson in, the producer extraordinaire. How are you, sir?
Doing well this morning. Thank you.
Hey, look, I have no headphones on. Look, all the years I did radio, I'm so used to wearing headphones, and we're seeing, does it work? I mean, first of all, does it work for me? It's maybe hard to get your mind wrapped around this, folks. And just a little inside baseball within kind of the broadcast world is that when you're wearing headphones, okay, it's almost like a security blanket in a sense. It is. And it's just like reality is I don't need this microphone, just so you know. I could have a lapel mic on. I could do lots of other things. But there's something about the feeling when you're talking to the folks that it's kind of like the feeling of AM radio going away, Eric. They're trying to get rid of AM radio, and I know once again I'm breaking us off the course of the show. You have formatted so well, but Eric, you know what I mean? How they're saying, we're AM just is useless anymore. We don't need AM radio. Well, it's AM radio was this. It was a person and a microphone, and so here we are. We're gonna see how it works.
Yeah, AM radio was always it was. I need to hear my Rush.
The
when in doubt,
network.
That's right. Yeah, it's part of. It was like Air, Food, Rocky movies, and Rush Limbaugh. So, I definitely would miss AM radio.
Why is this not a golden microphone? You want to know why it's not? Because I don't deserve a golden microphone right now. You have to earn the golden microphone. Trump is somebody out there that's kind of uses everything's gold in his house, right? You go in his house, it's gold everywhere, right? And gold faucets, gold toilets, gold.
Escalator.
Now, right. In his world, he's reached the pinnacle. He's a multi-billionaire. His name is worth billions just on its own, and he loves gold. Well, Rush Limbaugh had the EIB network, and he had the golden microphone. And, it'd be disrespectful to you could easily just go buy a golden microphone. And anyone who would ever do that, that would be a huge disrespect to El Rushbo. Okay. And so you ditto heads out there, I'm glad to have you in this broadcast and with us, because we're going to try to pay respect to him all the time. And the best way to do that is to bring great broadcasting to you and explain to you where you understand it and where it makes sense. Trump was exceptionally good at explaining things to all of us that we could understand in this complex world that we live in. And he's really what drew me into even thinking about politics. In the first time that I ever heard him, I was like, wow, I have no idea what he's talking about, but he sure is being attacked by a lot of people. I think I want to listen to him. And I just started listening to him. And, Eric, Rush Limbaugh is God rest his soul. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing today if Rush didn't do what he did.
AM station would have already gone away.
Absolutely.
When he created the 3-hour talk environment where advertisers could reach people. I mean, think about if you go back to the 70s, I never listened to the AM radio. AM radio was only if you're in a small town in Iowa where you couldn't get any other station.
News. You would listen to my dad would listen to the news on AM radio.
Right.
There were very few FM stations too. There were some.
Right.
It was 98. Phoenix, Arizona, it was a station called KUPD, 98 KUPD. And it wasn't 98 point something. It was 98. And now today there's so many stations that there's decimals there now. And if you really think about it, that whole medium is dying off. FM is dying. AM, obviously, I think AM needs to always be there. And FM needs to always be there. Want to know why? Because it's free, folks. It's free. Watching this program here is not free to you because you have to pay somebody internet to get it. Just that simple, right? AM and FM, you could have your grandpa's old radio, turn it on, and you could get information. It's a national security issue. Fact. So anyone talking about getting rid of AM and FM, that eliminate then what happens is there's gatekeepers now. You can't even get the information with you if you don't pay for it. Just that simple. So there's a lot more to no one listens to it at all anyway. Well, you will. It's like ham radio operators. Oh my gosh. Eric, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but
No, but think about it. Why would anyone want AM and FM to go away when if there's a EMP, a bomb, an electronic
100%.
and where everyone's looking for information and you turn to your handheld radio and
yeah, that's right. And think about ham radio operators. You see those people driving around. They got they typically have a code on the back, and then they have this huge antenna that's tied down, and 2 or 3 or 4 of them. And they're typically not brand new vehicles. The people in there are kind of, I don't know, let's just say more blue collar. And those people could just be the lifeline, folks, in this World War III that we're in. Those people just might be the ones that help us. That's why those towers are still there. You look at these towers around the United States that were used in World War II to communicate. They're still there. There is, the radio frequency is a powerful, powerful weapon when the shit hits the fan. No, excuse my French, but that's a fact. Okay, and so I'm going to step back. I had to give my respect to Rushbo, and it led me right into AM and FM. And you know what, Eric, I want to focus, on some future show specifically on AM and FM and what it has to do with the war that we're in today. So let's get right to it. Again, welcome to the Craig Bouchon Show, craigbouchon.com, americaican.com. And let's jump right in. What do we got going today, Eric? Let the folks know.
Well, CNN, of course, just like the New York Times, they somehow mysteriously get leaks from the Department of Justice and the State Department on a regular basis. And this time, CNN was able to get the tape that everyone's been kind of waiting to hear about Trump's conversation with some reporters and some writers looking to get information on Mark Meadows. But CNN released it. So now we have to interpret it, and that is what the main story is today going in.
And before we play this, folks, please understand something, and it goes for both sides, that they're going to you got to have the full context of what's really going on. But let's listen to this, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on it.
And so from CNN, just so you know, as we go to play this, it says the audio recording comes from a July 2021 interview Trump gave at his Bedminster Resort and Golf Course for people working on the memoir for Mark Meadows, which a lot of people believe is actually the mole in the former Trump administration, Trump's former chief of staff. And so the special counsel is alleging that what you're about to hear are classified documents that Trump is showing to the reporters, which is illegal. And that's the basis to their charges in Florida.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
It started right at the
beginning.
Like
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case,
Mm-hmm.
Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this.
So do you want to comment on that so far that
I do.
he
I
just
do.
said this is top secret? Why is he doing this? Why did he do that?
Well, first, obviously, what I'm going to be doing is going to be speculating on what I can't see. To my knowledge, and Eric, do you know, is there any video of this thing that we're listening to, of this situation anywhere? Have you heard of any video being shot?
No, I haven't.
Because they're not showing any of it, folks. So video gives you a tremendous amount of context of what's going on. They're laughing a lot. It leads me to believe that the look on his face is almost a level of sarcasm. Okay. And because there's no video of it, it allows the enemy to build a case, this circumstantial case, where you don't really get to know whether he was going, well, these documents are top secret. You don't know if he's being sarcastic about it. What are they really? What's the name of the documents? Did they actually see the documents? Is he baiting them to get information out there? I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is, let's just say that it's true that this information, by the way, I think the information's true. I believe what he's saying is true, and that's part of the deep state. Okay. But it almost feels, Eric, like a Snowden moment. If they're going to play out that he's getting this information out there, isn't that really what Snowden was doing? Was getting what top secret, if you will, information to the people so they could see the truth of what's going on because they're being hoodwinked. Okay. And the American citizen is so far behind the eight ball because they don't get to know the truth. So how do you know what decisions you need to make as a citizen in a representative republic, where if every single thing that's important that you need to know has such a level of secrecy that you don't get to even look at it or hear it? And that's what builds this deep state. That's what builds this whole other world, this whole other shadow government that you just don't have an ability to contend with because you don't know the information. It's garbage in, garbage out. So I think, Eric, that this audio at face value is very damning for both sides. Donald Trump, is he that disconnected from a reality that he doesn't know by saying that? And when he said off the record, by the way, folks, that's not the way it works. It doesn't. Think of it like a contract, all right? A verbal contract that would have been caught on audio. If he would have said something like this, I'm going to tell you something right now off the record. Do we agree with that? And if they go, yes, it's off the record, then you have a much bigger case of what are these people doing? They purposely are trapping him. They purposely said yes, and they knew they were going to get it out. And but that's not what he did. It was in the transfer of information he was talking about. And again, I don't know whether it's illegal or not illegal, but the information he's saying is horrible. That Milley and others are doing the things that they're doing, and we don't know about it. Okay, and so Eric, that's my opinion so far, is that if it's true, and it could be a Snowden scenario, the only way to get the information out was how else would we know? Would you ever know if Trump never gets back in as president? Would you ever know what's going on? And if you don't know the truth, remember, the truth is not hate speech. The truth is not hate speech. That is the moral code of this show. So, Eric, that's my thoughts so far.
Well, this supports the position a lot of people have that Trump kept these documents as a protection against being falsely charged. So he wanted these around to say, no. I didn't try to take us into war. Milley did. I've got the paper. I've got the proof that I'm not responsible for any type of conflicts that we almost got into.
Absolutely.
Because they're trying to figure out, why did you keep these documents? That's a question he's had to answer several times. Why did you keep these? And I think this is one indication why.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Trump knows more about the deep state than any of us do. He knows more about the swamp than any of us do. He is exposing them. He's drawing, like I think I mentioned on the last show. He's forced the hand in this poker game that we're in, where they've stacked the deck. And you think you're being dealt cards, folks, so at a fair level, and you have a fair chance of winning, but you don't. The deck is stacked. So Trump has really forced the hand of the enemies of this country. So, and again, Snowden's whole scenario, right? There's a lot of people that believe that Snowden should have been, should be not be living the life he's living, and because he was trying to get the truth out because we're being lied to. So it's a complex scenarios we're dealing with right now, folks. And that's why it's so hard to unpack this stuff, where you can make a reasonable decision on what should I really think about what's happening in front of me. And because now what we need to know is, what were those papers about? And so it's interesting. So let's keep going, because I know you've got more to get to.
And as we do this, the problem is, for me, is that if Meadows is the mole, and these people were collecting information for a memoir about the mole, then they could have been setting Trump up here.
Oh, absolutely. It is. There's no doubt that that's the game plan, and to do whatever they can to trap and destroy Donald Trump. There's no doubt about that. And we need to know more about who these people are, by the way. Who are these people in the room? There's multiple people laughing, and I'm shocked that nobody was shooting video. Is there a video out there that they're just not showing us, folks?
We'll keep looking. As of now, I think it was audio that was not supposed to be released. So here is the rest of this very small portion of this conversation. CNN is
And did this happen in the state of Florida?
This happened in New Jersey at his golf course.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time,
she'd send
private
it,
email.
she'd send it to
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible? Though?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it, and he said he wanted to attack Iran, and what? These are the
You did.
papers.
It's pretty,
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
it. See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. We here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring
they
some
never had a
bring some
war. They
cokes
didn't
in,
want
please.
it.
Yes. So, again, folks, what we're hearing is not a good situation for Donald Trump. That's just a fact. There's no doubt about it. If you just take that snippet and that's what it is, then he's got some explaining to do. But let's go back to plenary power. All right. Plenary power, I've said this multiple times, that this is going to be the biggest case testing plenary power in what it actually is and what the power that the president has. The argument is that when the president of the United States he could sit there, for example, when he's president, he could say, I want that document right over there. It's top secret. I don't care. Bring it here. Folks, I'm going to read this to you. And he could just declassify it. That's the argument. And a lot of experts say, yeah, he absolutely could. Now, obviously, you don't want a president that would tell top secret stuff that would make a national security problem, like what are the codes to the nuclear bombs and stuff like that, of course. But plenary power is going to be tested. And this is one big part of that whole understanding of what plenary power is. When the president takes that document and he walks out of the building with it, his action automatically declassifies it. That is one of the arguments because we need to know, first of all, how do all these things get out? I mean, I'm going to go right back to it. It's ridiculous that we even have this conversation as an American citizen, that our national defense information is just this easily getting out of the White House. Heck, Biden had stuff as a senator that they discovered. I mean, how is this happening? We've got this leads us to even deeper issues that I hear nobody talking about. How come no one's asking this question? I'm going to ask it again. I'm going to bring it up right now because I said it the other day and I still don't hear people talking about it. Why do these people, the former presidents of the United States and their staff members, how are they able to walk out of the White House with documents like this and we don't know it? It's like we discover them later. We go, oops. Oh, wait a minute. Did he take top secret stuff that had to do with Iran and General Milley? We better go find that stuff right now. It's ridiculous that we even have these conversations. Something's going on. You want to know why China? We're going to talk about China in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about China and World War III and how they've caught up so fast and what's going on. So, Eric, I mean, I don't know how much more we could talk about this subject because we don't know enough about it, right? There's not enough. Go ahead.
Well, Trump was on Fox News and asked about it, so I thought we would. Trump's statement on the audio recording saying these are the papers and referring to someone he calls highly confidential, something he calls highly confidential, and seems to be showing others in the room this is with CNN, could undercut his claim in an interview that he made on Fox News' Bret Baier, where Trump said, quote, there was no document. There was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. He continues, and it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I did not have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles, end of quote. So Trump was saying that what he was showing was not actual classified documents. They were summaries or stories about them.
Again, that is why video is such a big deal here.
Right. Yep.
You know, my argument, Eric, I've talked to you off air on this, and I said, look, how do we even know what he has? Who knows what's in that file? What is the file? We don't know. Trump is not stupid. Make no mistake, folks. If he's anything, he's not stupid. He could be a lot of other things, but he is calculating. All right. And this could be the biggest bait and switch that you've ever seen, where he's actually saying, hey, look at this stuff right here. Oh, wait a minute. This was sent to me by the military. It's top secret. This is what it says. Did he do this? Give it to him and say, hey, go take that. It's off the record. It doesn't sound like that's what he did, but who knows? You don't know what's on this piece of paper. You have no idea. It's just whatever I tell you is on the paper right here. Yeah, right there. Check that out. Let me tell you, this was given to me, right? Does it make sense, Eric? Do you understand, folks? That we don't know what we don't know. And we can't be constantly we're constantly being inundated with disinformation and misinformation. And so let's just see. We're going to find out. I mean, that's what court's all about, isn't it?
Well, they're going to use this Presidential Records Act of 78. They're going to have to fix this because it is very confusing what the president or vice president can do with their personal notes and stuff when they're leaving, what they shouldn't do, who gets to keep them, who gets to get them back. And it causes a lot of confusion. So this was poorly written, trying to accommodate the president and vice president as they're leaving office. But
Yes.
Yep, it's going to take. But CNN mysteriously, just like the New York Times, was able to get an exclusive leak on the recording.
Well, that doesn't surprise us at all. And we're going to keep monitoring it, folks. We're going to keep, look, we do this show every day, and we're going to talk about it, and let's just see what happens. I believe there's far more to this story, And I want to see if he really had those papers. Did they really see the papers, or it's just a recording of him baiting them, actually? We're going to find out. It's an interesting look. The world is upside down, folks, and I'm tired of the blood rushing to my head. So when we come back, we're going to talk about World War III, folks, because we're in it. We'll be back.
Love made it right. Suddenly I see the light. Now when I'm walking home
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success, and now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature-regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and brand new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
Welcome back, folks. Well, here we are, Craig Bouchon Show. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and we are going to discuss something that I think is not being discussed at all, really. You know, what's the real state of the union and what's going on? And I've said, and I'm on the record saying that we're actually in World War III right now, folks. We're in World War III. And it started a long time ago. You could say it started decades ago. And the infiltration of this country by the enemy is alive and well. But we're gonna break it down, and I want to talk to you about something that is very, very. It's all over the place, folks. And you know, right now in your town where you live, no matter where you turn, you turn the TV on, and you hear things about electric vehicles, electric cars, electrification of society. The whole world is going electric. And, you know, the United States of America is the power broker for the world. And it needs to be. We talked about this yesterday on the show. I believe that if the United States of America gives up and says, forget it, it's not a big deal anymore, we're going to pull back in, build the walls of Jericho, we're going to live behind our borders, and then we're just going to go all guns out, and then you all are on your own. Well, that's exactly what China wants, folks. And the electrification of automobiles, I've written about more than once. If you go to the Craig Bouchon Show website and you scroll through, you will on the readings, on the articles, you'll see that I've written about it. And so I believe, Eric, that we are in World War III right now. And electric vehicles, the BRICS nations, the things that are going on around oil, natural gas, coal, and moving all the vehicles by depending on what state you're in or what country you're talking to, you know, by the year 2030, 2035, no more ICE vehicles or internal combustion engines, petroleum driven vehicles. Even though electric vehicles are petroleum driven vehicles, that's ridiculous to even say that it's not. But the China is dropped one of the largest nuclear bombs in our society, attacking the petrodollar, uh, be, by saying and by convincing people that electric vehicles is the future. It saves the world. It saves the earth. Because you can't have coal, folks. Because look what it does. It's a scorched earth thing. Look at the mining. Look at all that. But then you go, well, wait a minute. What about what's going on with lithium? What's going on with cobalt? What's going on with electrification? With EVs, hybrid vehicles. So why do I say it? Why am I saying that electric vehicles right now, the push by China and the CCP, okay, is a nuclear bomb? Because the United States of America, folks, is not prepared for electric vehicles. We are prepared for petroleum vehicles. And they're super efficient. They're very, very efficient these days. And we have plenty of oil, and we have plenty of natural resources to run our vehicles, and China knows that, and they're like, well, how do we compete with a nation that the dollar is the standard bearer of the way oil is purchased and most everything is traded in the world? I mean, I think it's over 50% impact on the entire globe, the power of the dollar. And I think the yuan is maybe 2 to 3%. Okay. But they're growing and they're building unity with these BRICS nations. To part of it is to destroy the United States of America, sitting on top, being the protector of liberty in the world. Because make no mistake, if China gets what it wants, and electric vehicles, we got up here, number of operating coal power plants worldwide. Look at that, folks. How many does it say there? Now, and when you look at this video, coal fire plants is the supermajority of power generation for China to charge its electric vehicles. They're mining. They've got, look at the plants. How many does it say there? 1,118 coal fire power plants.
And this
they
was
have
a year ago. This was a year ago. They're adding a plant almost like every 6 weeks extra.
That's right.
While the U.S. is closing their opening. So how is the U.S. going to power up their electric cars?
Yeah, right. The average age of a coal fire plant, if my memory is serving me correctly, is about 42 years in the United States. The average age in China is 12 years and getting younger. They're building power plants at record numbers. They have roughly 200 under construction right now. So what does that have to do with the United States of America? Why does that affect us so badly? Well, because while they're doing this, while China is pushing electrification, they're the largest. Look, they sell more vehicles. I hate to tell you, folks, but companies like BYD and I think it's CATL. There's a lot of acronyms out there, but these CCP backed companies are going into countries, into Europe with their cars with stolen technology. That over decades they did this, by the way. Probably some of the documents have been coming out of the White Houses over years, right? The information getting out that who knows what was in the documents that Biden had as a senator. When he was a senator, and its relationship with China. How is China caught up so fast in these technologies, right? Well, World War III is not going to be fought like what you're seeing in Ukraine right now. Not going to happen. That's not the enemy's focus because they know they can't win it yet. They need to weaken the United States of America. And one of the best ways to weaken us, outside all the things we've discussed, it's social engineering, this woke movement, all that stuff, is attacking us where our strengths are and one of the greatest strengths we have, folks, is the ability to tap into the ground and extract really hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of energy at a very inexpensive price. Okay. And you no longer can make the argument that having a coal mine or natural gas being pumped out of the ground is so horrific for the earth when what you're seeing, what it really takes when the truth comes out about electrification of automobiles and wind generation and solar photovoltaic power generation. And we have articles up at the CraigBouchonShow.com. Go back. We've written about it. This is a boondoggle. This is a bridge to nowhere. It is not going to work in the United States of America, folks. And you don't even want it. It's not like you woke up today and said, I need an electric car. It's not. China is dropping this bomb. They've infiltrated our education system to teach children that coal is bad, natural gas is bad. It's kind of funny. The word natural gas, that's bad. Nuclear, bad. We have got to start educating ourselves on the facts. Clean coal does exist. Cars are extremely efficient. What's coming out of the exhaust is so clean in comparison to what it was even 10 years ago. But we cannot afford, folks, to go electric. We don't have the money. We don't have the infrastructure. And you haven't even asked for it, but you're now being force-fed that you have got to take and buy an electric vehicle. State of California has outlawed them. Okay? I think it's 2030, maybe 2035.
35. No gas-powered cars can be sold, new cars, as of 2035.
That's right. So when you showed that graph of the coal-fired power plants, what if I told you, folks, that we have about 450 years of coal energy that we can use right here? Peabody Mine used to be, it's went bankrupt and it's still around, but it's they were forced out of business really by. I mean, I wish we had the clip of what Obama said about. Yeah, you can stay in business, coal miners. You can stay in business, coal-fired plants, but we're going to make through regulatory process is going to be so hard for you to deal with that you're going to go out of business. And when they say that, that means you're going out of business, folks, because as of right now, we can't afford to go to electric. And China knows it, Russia knows it, and those two together, if you look at how much oil and how much coal and how much natural gas that they have, okay, together, which they're mining the crap out of that stuff. They don't have the Sierra Club walking in going, hey, Xi Jinping, what are you doing? Are you really gonna have another coal-fired plant? Yeah, that conversation lasts about a millisecond, okay? We have been infiltrated, folks, and indoctrinated your kids. If you're my age, if you're in your 50s and you have kids and then you could have grandkids, they have been indoctrinated by a false doctrine of what the reality is of what America, how America is America and what keeps America strong. And they've been led to believe that we're so wealthy and we've been so arrogant and we have and how dare we be doing coal-fired power plants and have oil pumping out of the ground. We don't need gas at $1.83 a gallon. That was just a few years ago. We did it at $3, $4, $5, $6 a gallon. Because remember what the enemy said: prices have to necessarily or have to go up. It is necessary for them to go up. They're forcing this stuff through regulation that we can't afford. So, World War III. World War III is something that we really need to recognize we're in right now. And you can see it. You could see the Axis and Allied forces right now happening. You could see what's happening in Ukraine which Ukraine's just going to be talk about a, I don't want to call it a demilitarized zone in that area, but it's going to be a wasteland. And it's going to be a wasteland of land that no one's going to be able to inhabit, and it's going to divide Europe from the from Russia, China, India. You have Turkey, you have Saudi Arabia, you have all these nations. Okay, that's going to be this huge divide right there. And you can see the Allied forces and the Axis forces, just like in World War II, forming right now. The BRICS is not a brand new thing. It's not. But it is, they're accelerating it. And they're accelerating it because we're vulnerable, because for too long we've had presidents on both sides that have special interest groups that are not allowing you and I to tap in to what is ours. They want to build solar photovoltaic power generating freaking islands out there, or oases out there, covered on top of where you should be tapping into the ground and extracting oil out. So, Craig, are you against electric vehicles? Are you against electric, these new technologies? Craig, you're just living in the Stone Age, Craig. No, I'm not against it. Actually, I have a heavy background in energy technology, by the way. And I'm a big fan of having these technologies. But the way it's being done, folks, we are literally cutting our nose off to spite our face. What do you got pulled up here? How long will the dollar last as the world's default currency? The BRICS nations are gathering in South Africa this August with it on the agenda.
Brazil,
course,
Russia, India, China, South Africa.
That's right. And more.
Yep.
Saudi Arabia, by the way, as well, is in that. And do you think it's
And this is coming up in August. This isn't like an old story.
No, it's happening right now.
That's right.
It's happening right now, folks. While you are being completely, you're being shifted to gay pride. You're being shifted to things that are not good. But they're using those things as that bright, shiny object in the corner to get you distracted about the things that are affecting national security right now. Borders. Numbers came out in May, 170,000 plus illegal aliens, 100 plus terrorists they've captured coming across the border. But how many have we not, been capturing? Well, that's all going on while you're focusing on Trump, while you're focusing on gay pride, while you're focusing on the woke agenda, while you're focusing on your kids being attacked, while you're focusing on utility bills are high, food's high. All this stuff is designed to keep your eye off the ball. And again, it's not that those things aren't important. They are. But we're going to have to be very good at multitasking, folks. We have to fight on multiple fronts. And the electrification of automobiles is the worst thing to happen to the United States of America right now. We have plenty of money, folks, to invest in future energy technologies. Plenty of money. We should be pumping oil right now, and we should have $1.80 a gallon gas that's going to drive all of your costs down. All the things I just said, the food is high because of the cost of fuel. Everything's high because of the cost of fuel. Why? Because we run this microphone comes from petroleum. This boom, parts of this come from petroleum. There's no way, folks, for us to win World War III if we cannot get to our source of wealth and energy, period. And the enemy has done a very, very good job at teaching your children that it's horrific and we should not do it. And mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, it's ridiculous what you're thinking. We're going to go march in the streets about it. No more oil. No more oil. No more coal. While the enemy of you and I, the communist nation that had nothing in the early 80s, is mining more coal, burning more coal, pushing electric vehicles because they don't have access to oil like we do. That's why they're friends with Russia. Russia is just a useful idiot for them. That's all it is. That's why they're there. They see it a means to an end. They're willing to have this relationship because they can get the oil. And that's why Russia's not really too worried about what we're doing about Ukraine when it comes to cutting off their money. They're getting fed directly from China. Why? Because we're in World War III. The BRICS nations are the future enemies in this war. India is an interesting one to talk about because they're getting kind of caught in the middle. They're kind of like Italy a little bit, I guess, in World War II. They're kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? Geographically, we're kind of screwed. So they're kind of getting force fed into this. That's an interesting conversation there, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to work against us.
Well, they're number 2 on power plants, and this number is outdated too because their population's so huge and they don't have oil, so they are.
That's
so
right.
while we're being told in the United States that we should own nothing and be happy about it, and there's a climate change emergency as Obama buys beachfront properties, and India and China are burning so much coal that our little amount in the U.S. is nothing compared to them, but yet they don't have sanctions. They don't have internal pressures to stop. We do.
They're not. There's no one stopping them from doing anything.
Nope.
And so the power that they're getting, the wealth that they have, is because they're able to do things that you and I can't. The United States of America, we the people, okay? It's our country, it's our land, it's our coal, it's our petroleum, it's our natural gas, it's ours. And the way that they're choking you off is not allowing you to tap into the wealth that you're going to need to fight this war. And it's been going on for decades and decades and decades. And they've done it through our political system. They've navigated the U.S. Constitution. Biden, and when Biden was the vice president under Obama, and we call it the Biden administration right now because it really is. That was the real flip of the switch when Obama came into office, when he attacked coal at a level that was really almost unprecedented. And coal plants, shutting down, going bankrupt. And who does that help? How is it helping the environment that we shut down plants and China, who does not have a regulatory system like we do, and they're building plants by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. They have well over 1,000 now. And so how does that help us? It doesn't help us. It's a boondoggle, folks. And we're doomed if we don't fix it. We need to tap into the energy that we have. So A, we can fight this war that we're in. B, you have more money in your pocket. All right. You want to drive inflation down? You freaking get fuel down. That is the fastest way to drive down inflation. You want to grow yourself out of this problem? You have to drive down the price of fuel, all types of fuel. And you can only do that by producing it and controlling its production. Okay. Forget OPEC. They're terrorists. Okay. We have got to start doing that now, and we can't, and we're at war, and it's dangerous, and we're getting weaker, and we're getting weaker, and we're getting weaker, and there's no rational conversation, and I can't wait to have them on the show, folks. I can't wait to travel around, and we're going to be speaking with people. We're going to show up at places, and we're going to have conversations with them, and we're going to ask. I want to hear how they believe this is in the best interest of the United States of America, because it's not. And that's why they're attacking Trump, okay? Because he went in and he did exactly what I've been talking about for years, by the way. You go back and look at my archive shows, I've talked about this for years. We have got to control our politics. As we unpack all this stuff, I made a promise to you that I'm not going to show you all this stuff and raise our IQ up and get us to understand what's going on and what the strategy is of the enemy and not give us a way to push back. And when we come back from break, I'm sure Eric has something. He's got questions he's going to ask. I know you have things pulled up, Eric. And we're going to go to a quick break and come back. We're going to hear what Eric has to say and what questions he has for me. And then I'm going to give you the solution to this problem, folks. There is a solution. There's good news. There are things that we can do, and we're going to do it. And when we come back, some questions from Eric, and then the solution to our problems. We'll be back. Welcome back, folks. We've been talking about World War III. We've been talking about when we just went to break, trying to break down what we're involved in right now. And you can't do it all in one segment. It's impossible. We're going to break it up and we're going to keep explaining it. We're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. We're going to show you the stats. We're going to show you the common sense. We're going to show you the reality of what's happening in the deep state, and then also what's happening right there in front of your eyes. These people are so bold. They don't care. And but Eric, okay, I want to turn it over to you. I know you always have some questions, and I want to be able to at least give you my opinion on them.
Well, I thought we would kind of bring it all together into some general questions, some overarching questions. From what you're saying, if the wrong people are in power, like the Bidens who are in bed with China, the government who allows China to burn excessive amount of coal so they can make plastic products while we're here claiming climate change and shutting down, it really comes down to we, the people, have to put the right people in positions of power, because if not, we are just sitting ducks for China and the BRICS countries.
That's right. 100%. If we don't change things quickly, it's over.
And how quickly would now? So, because we've been saying this for years, but I mean, I think it's really, really quickly. What's your thoughts on approximate time frames?
This election, it has to happen now. You can't wait for the election. What do I mean by that? It means that you have to start pressuring your legislators and your senators, and you need to start really speaking your mind and not be afraid about what's going on. And the pressure needs to be put on right now, because remember, the House is controlled by the Republicans. I say the word control loosely because I haven't been too impressed. Now, they have talked about they're behind the impeachment now, right? Isn't that a big deal? They're saying impeachment. Oh, I think I know Ted Cruz. He's like, we gotta impeach some people, right?
Yeah. McCarthy finally came out. I'll show it to you on Twitter here. He finally decided, because the evidence is really overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, absolutely.
That and here's McCarthy here. He finally said, we need to get to the facts. This is concerning why the Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss was not allowed to bring charges against Hunter. And at some point, McCarthy finally says, if the whistleblower from the IRS who can prove the millions of dollars going to Joe and to Hunter, if they're true, this will be a significant part of a larger impeachment inquiry into Garland's weaponization of the DOJ. So my question to you is, since we're starting to see the cracks, we're starting to see the monsters in the closet with this deep state, do you think the Republicans, without us in American forcing them to, will do anything about it?
No. We have to be careful, folks, that when Kevin McCarthy says what he says, that's lip service. There's a saying, action, not words. And it's the actions. What are they doing? Look, you have to understand that they know that you're busy, and they know you're not paying attention all the time, or in some cases much of the time, and in some other cases none of the time. And that's why we're here doing this, to help you. Hey, let's go. Let's wake up. Let's make this happen. The country is at stake. So Kevin McCarthy said something, Ted Cruz has said something, but now what are they doing about it? So what do? You reach out to your legislator and you send them an email. You leave them a message on their voicemail, and because they're not going to pick up, but inundate them with how you feel. And that this is ridiculous. We know that it's corrupt. We know what's going on with what happened with Adam Schiff. We know what we were told. We know about the Russia. And we know about what Hillary Clinton said in Benghazi. Why does it really matter? Well, it matters because you're a lying thief of the truth. And people died and they didn't have to. And people are dying every single day on our border, and they don't have to. We're being infiltrated all over this country by some bad people that are coming across the border we don't know about. Sleeper cells being built. Who knows what's going on? So I like that they're talking about it, but we got to see some action now. Okay, so we the people. What do we got? How much time we got left? We got about 2.5 minutes left. Eric alluded to it. What do we do? I talk about American. I talk about the plaque on the wall. When you see our new studio that we're designing, it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and I hope you love it. But for now, you have right here the I am American. And there's this, that's the one that's the candidate oath. I have one here that says, I am American. And that's my signature on it. Sorry about the glare. That's my signature on it. I swear to do my job as an American citizen and stay engaged with what's going on in the political system, learn as much as I can, and hold the politicians who I vote for accountable. And the candidate oath says, I swear that I will uphold the Constitution, which they all do anyway, right? But I want them to have their name written down on this oath that I've taken as well, where at the end of it, it says, if the candidate I vote into office is found to have broken their oath, I will work to remove them from office by impeachment or repeal, so help me God, or solemn declaration. That is a big deal. And at the end of the candidate oath, go ahead and read what it says, Eric, at the end of the candidate oath. That's what the citizen oath says. What does it say at the end of the candidate oath?
Well, at the end, compared to the one you just read for the citizen, if this is the politician speaking, if the candidate becomes the politician, if I am found to have broken this oath, I expect to be removed from office by my electorate. So help me God.
That's
I
right.
expect to be removed.
That's right. And so how do you know? So what happens? Here's this lapel pin. I hope you can see it. I don't know if you can or not. This is a lapel pin. It's hard to tell. Okay. Made in America. And it's designed that people wear it, put it up here. And when you see, after they sign the oath, and you wear it, they wear it, there's bumper stickers, there's keychains, all that fun paraphernalia stuff. There's hats coming. One day, maybe a NASCAR driving around, burning all that petroleum. So when you see this lapel pin and you look on stage or you see them on TV and you see that, it connects you to them and them to you. There's an accountability clause in all of this that we're talking about. It's about you and I stepping up to the responsibility of being an American, and it's them stepping up and upholding the oath of the Constitution to protect you and I against the things that are going on right now. Border crisis. Yeah, is it a big deal that what's going on with all these documents? Absolutely. But the main reason, a big giant reason that people take the oath of office is to protect the sovereignty of the United States of America, folks, and they're not doing it. So when you see this pin, you know that they know that you're there. And that gives you a position of power, what I like to call POP, position of power. And as we unite, we take all the people that are behind the Tea Party and behind that were in the MAGA movement, and those who are the sleeping, or I shouldn't say sleeping. Well, some of them are sleeping. It's time to wake up, folks. Quite frankly, but that silent majority that's out there as well, who just don't want to wear an acronym. But I believe you will wear American. Go to americaican.com. Read what it says. Sign the oath. You can get a plaque if you want. You don't have to get a plaque. You could screenshot your oath and print it off. I don't care. Just have it. Let us know. But if you get the oath and you get a plaque and it's laser etched, and there's different models out there you can get, different examples, and they're beautiful. But it's a great example of us getting together. That's how we fix this issue, folks. That's how we fix the problems in this representative republic. I know I went over. I apologize, Eric. I appreciate it. I think the folks are getting engaged. Yeah, I know you're there. I know that you are there. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.